Welcome to the Dusty Futon Musicians Podcast. The Dusty Futon is revolutionizing the music industry one artist at a time. Every episode of the Dusty Futon features an independent and original artist from the San Diego area. Our host and co-host create a conversation around the artist and their music while making it a point to allow them to tell their story their way. We don't have any advertisers or sponsors, so anything goes. This is a chance for the artist to just talk to you, the fans, about why they do what they do, what they go through, and how they do this thing we call music. We don't charge the artists for this service. We want it to remain completely free for the artists who need it and the fans that want to find them. That's why we set up a Patreon page where your donation can get you behind-the-scenes access to audio, video, and photos, and even get you direct access to the artists. Go to patreon.com/thedustyfuton for more information. Help us revolutionize the music industry, one artist at a time. Koda Sounds, that's with a K, is a four-piece rock band built with members from all over SoCal, but still having some San Diego roots.
Strange afflictions come over me.
You might recognize Paul and Renee from their former cover band Strange Affliction, and they play the eponymous original song from their latest album Back to Life live in their episode. Let's go ahead and hear from Paul, Ron, Lawrence, and Renee, and, of course, Erica of Koda Sounds. And that's with a K.
Cool.
There's a headset for you right there, and you can hear everything we're saying about you.
It's like they're magical. They're magical.
Look at that.
There you go. And the
Hey.
microphone, too, as well.
Hey.
You'll probably have to get a little closer. There you go.
Oh, no. Don't encourage her.
Hey, you put her in the throne.
It's like, what you guys
Right?
pay me for?
That's their job.
A little more reverb.
More reverb. So like that. Auto tune.
Did you say more Freebird?
Oh, no.
Freebird!
Okay.
By the way, we are
away we
live
go.
on YouTube. We have
Are
a
we
little
really?
webcam. So you can go
see
to
you guys too.
our Patreon page,
I saw that.
patreon.com.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was going to be a donor, but I haven't got around to it. I will.
What happened?
I will,
That's
man.
fine. I appreciate that.
No, I will,
we have a
man.
Patreon account for
pretty
people
cool. Oh, I know.
who want to donate and
It's
support
pretty
what we
cool.
do
Is
here.
Is that like a monthly thing or
I
a
look
one
at
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, monthly.
Yeah.
Monthly.
Who said that?
His mic's not on.
Okay, your mic's not working. I was like,
Oh, just because I'm a drummer. Oh,
That's because. Oh, that's a bass player, right?
Yeah. The bass player is supposed to be the inaudible one.
Right.
so try it again.
hello.
There we go.
Notice Ron
I just
hasn't
had
said
you.
one thing.
Yeah?
We,
Yeah.
I had you turned down. That's all.
all right. Are we on? Are we all on?
Is everybody
Are we
on?
all here?
We're
We're all
loaded.
here. man.
Excellent. We are all here, and we are all Koda.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Koda's in
Thank
the
you guys for
house.
coming here on the Dusty Futon. And
Yes.
again, I sincerely apologize. I know it's not a futon, but I assure you it is dusty.
It is.
So we hope you'll
Misrepresent
stick
yourself.
to the 50%.
Well,
So
we do nothing but put artists on there. That's why it's so dusty.
Right.
we hope that's all we put on there.
That
Anyway.
Musk's
Don't
you
tell
know.
them. They did sign the waiver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we got
Excellent.
it on file.
We got
What
it.
happens on the futon stays
Yeah,
on the
pretty much.
It's like Las Vegas, right?
Right? Like all you guys have like spleens and healthy immune systems, right?
Yes.
now.
I'm on zinc and euthanasia.
Hey, that keeps you healthy.
Welcome to the Dusty Futon, everybody listening in. I'm Tyler Johnson, and to my right,
Spicy Kim here.
Spicy. Tell everybody what we do here on the Futon.
We have a shit ton of fun.
That's right.
That's what we do.
Well, that's not how I see it. I'm the engineer here.
He has to engineer
We
the
are all
shit ton of fun.
serious, serious work.
Since when?
I know. What?
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Again,
so
rumors
no.
and lies.
We've got Koda in here. It's a four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are 4 of you.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 5th. You guys actually brought a guest too. You guys brought people. with you. I love it.
I
So,
brought my wife. She's like,
Erica.
shout out to Erica. Hello, hi,
out,
Erica.
I need her.
We're gonna drag you in this episode
I love you,
sometime
Mom.
later. You know.
She's like, she doesn't
do
have
not
to.
give
There's
her a
not,
microphone.
yeah, but anyway,
there's not an extra one, so we're good.
now that we've introduced
I will share.
the person
Got
who's
you,
not even
girl.
in the
All
band.
7 are being used. She gave me a
Spicy.
dirty look. Like, oh, wow.
Sorry,
I'm on her
Tyler.
bad side now.
I
ahead.
wouldn't want
So
to
we've
do
already
that.
introduced somebody who's not in the band. Let's introduce the people who are in the band now.
Wait, is this Tyler giving me shit now? Oh, my God.
No.
Whoa.
I'm talking about me because I was the one that pointed her out. It was totally my fault. I take accountability for that completely. completely. So
She needed to be introduced.
we so we're gonna introduce everybody here, and I'm gonna go backwards, which is how I like to go.
You're gonna start with the drummer
I'm gonna
first?
go in through the outdoor. We're gonna go with the drummer first. Where are you at? Raise your hand, drummer.
Right
here we
here.
go, right in
Right in the
front.
middle, right in the middle.
Yeah, the pretty
Front center.
one. Just kidding. Go ahead and what's your name, drummer?
Lawrence Hartman.
Lawrence Hartman.
Yes.
He's the backbone.
Are you from Arabia?
I get that a lot. You would be surprised. I get that
I never even thought
quite
of that once.
often. Quite often, yeah. Not at the moment. No,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
taking a vacation.
All right, cool.
That's nice. How long have you been with Koda?
It's been roughly, I want to say 4 years at least.
Since the inception, right?
Yeah. So since
From the beginning. So
well, I
you-
kind of took someone's
Well,
place
We'll
temporarily.
get into that a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he is the
died.
original. He
He's
is the
no-
he is the
no.
Lawrence is the original drummer for Koda.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Koda, yes,
Yes,
there we
yes.
go.
We're gonna go with that one.
Okay.
Original.
Welcome.
Quote finger marks. Anyway,
OG.
Welcome.
welcome, Lawrence. All right. Next up, we're gonna go on the bass.
Yeah, I'm Ron Machado.
Ron Machado, welcome.
Ron.
Thank you for coming in here, Ron.
Yep.
Yes.
Next up the line, we've got Paul.
Yeah, I'm the guitar player for Koda.
He says it so nonchalantly, like, yeah, whatever.
hey.
You know, I got 6 strings. I do stuff with them. You know, it's kind of cool. Make noises. and stuff.
He's got an acoustic electric. Do you typically play an AE or do you?
No, I mean, look, and we're going to do acoustic here, but
Okay.
yeah, we're an electric band.
All right, I figured.
Yeah.
I haven't previewed the music yet. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, cool.
here we go.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man.
So
Yeah.
Paul's got a sweet guitar and a sweet mustache as well. For those of you guys
Thank
listening
you.
and not
Thank you so
watching
much.
on the live feed right now on YouTube.
Yeah, we need to hurry or it's going to fall.
Like
The
a
moisture's
mohawk
starting
or-
to set in. Yeah, exactly. Egg whites. You got to use egg whites. It keeps them up
Oh,
all
yeah.
day, man. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
smells
there you
great too.
Oh, yeah. A bad omelet.
And last but certainly not least, on the vocals, we've got Renee Casanova. Welcome to the Dusty Futon,
Hello.
all 4 of you
Hello,
guys.
Renee.
Thank you.
And
Thank
gals.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about if there was any kind of a scheduling issue. We're, hopefully you guys had fun in the meantime.
Well,
basically-
this worked out pretty good because Renee was like on time now.
Oh,
I was
Renee.
on time.
No, she had
I
a
was on
connection.
time.
She knew that I meant 3 o'clock somehow. Yeah.
I sort of did.
Renee.
I
so
sense
what
that maybe
happened?
Renee has a reputation.
Yeah. What's
Well, here's what
Don't
we're
all
go-
singers?
We were going to name the band Where's
yeah,
Renee?
here we go.
Where's Renee?
Oh, that's perfect.
because
I'm in the
it never
clouds.
It never fails. It's
Good
like,
fit.
you know,
It was a
where's
good fit.
Renee?
I've
Do you guys
only
ever
been
just
late
start
for
playing
one
the set
gig
and she
in
comes in
7
halfway
years.
Only
through?
one time, and she got
One.
really fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
You
bad.
dare.
got really mad at me. I was really.
Dare not cross Renee.
It was a bad It was a bad day. It was a 10 a.m. gig. I mean, God, who starts that early?
Who gets up that early?
So, yeah, once in like 7 years. I mean, known you for like 7 years and once, and
Once.
that was before we were Koda too. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were strangers.
So it doesn't even count. So never late.
So you guys became Koda at some point. What
Never
were you guys
did.
before Koda? Just
Strange Affliction, should we say?
Yeah, we came from a cover band. I put a cover band together years ago, and we had a couple of male singers that didn't work out, and I never really wanted a female singer in the band, and we put out a Craigslist ad because we needed another singer, and Renee, this little thing, in this little hat and this little scarf walks into audition. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great.
with the
That's how
eye
they
roll?
trick you. She's a shark.
The eye roll and
Yeah,
everything.
and
I
she,
get him every time.
and
It's really good.
after-
No idea.
but
She just likes to see the look on your face, and she's like, "Watch this,
fun.
motherfucker."
She wailed at this rehearsal, and we all looked at each other, and it was like, you want a position in the band, and her and I have been, pretty much
He's my best buddy.
together
Aw.
since 7, 8 years. So it's been really good. She's a great songwriter.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote this Strange Affliction. I love you so much.
Okay.
You guys are
He's
sweet.
my friend.
Fun story. I was doing some research on you guys, but actually I wasn't, because there's apparently somebody else named Koda out there somewhere here,
Well,
and I almost showed up really embarrassed with the wrong information. He's just one guy, but
With
he doesn't
egg whites
matter.
on your
Yeah.
face?
Yeah, that's why all our social media is Koda Sounds, because of
Yes.
that,
Okay.
that son of a
That's
bitch.
how I found you. So, exactly. He'll get his time on the futon, maybe.
No.
Not now.
No.
Is that the one with the abbreviations or the one with the Coda with a C? Or
Oh God, there's more than one.
Oh, there's so many
yeah,
of
one
them.
of them is.
Well, I mean,
Wine.
coda's a music
Yeah,
term.
I've seen that one.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, that was the whole idea behind the name of the band was Koda with a K to kind of throw a twist on Koda, the musical term. So
I'm not familiar with this musical term.
I'm not
You'll have to
either.
enlighten
A
me.
coda, it's basically an end of a song that sends you back to another part of the song to continue through. Like it has to do with songwriting, like actual writing. It's the writing on the God. I can't even think of
you're
that.
absolutely right, dude.
Yeah, I know I'm right, but
On
I
the
just
sheet
can't think of the rest of the terms. So.
I can't words. How do I
It's
English?
sheet music, yeah. Sheet music when they have the 5 lines.
That's why. Yeah, I stopped doing sheet music in like 5th grade.
Nobody
I
does
just
that
fake
anymore.
it the rest of the
No,
way.
no.
The closest people get to sheet music is tabs.
Right. right.
So now I'm really worried because you guys know what you're doing. And I'm just sitting here like,
I
Well-
forgot it all. That's
No, not really.
the problem.
Oh no.
no. So you guys are an original rock music band, and by rock music, I mean it's you can't really rock covers so many different genres, and so do you guys.
Yeah.
You don't really have like one particular style. I was listening to songs and I thought, okay, so this is what you guys are about. Went to the next one, I'm like, well, no, I forget everything I just wrote down right there. So we're gonna get into that in just a sec. Are we about that time, Big John?
We're about that.
We're
time.
about that
We're
time.
ready to hear some music.
Then let's get ourselves a little song here. Let's let the
Which one are you
the
gonna
music
play,
do the
man?
talking.
That's up to you.
Yes, you.
Well,
guys.
we want to debut a song that I gave you, but I don't want to do that quite yet.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll wait till later.
Thank you. But
so
what's
one
a
of the
good
other-
show opener?
Back
here?
to life.
Back to Life, yeah, title track of this CD. That'd be
I like
perfect.
that. Yeah, let's bring this episode back to life with some music
do that.
right now.
In the cold, I warm my hands on you. A story told to comfort all bad news. I look behind my memories, all used. If I could only see, I'd find my way to you. Well, I'm coming back to life, and I'm waiting for the ride. I can walk 1,000 miles and know I'll be alright. Oh yeah, I'm on my way. Your face is old and your eyes are red and bruised. Your body is sold to who did this to you. You're fighting time, know that it's no use. But you are mine, and I am here for you. Well, I'm coming back to life, and I'm waiting for the ride. I can walk 1,000 miles and know I'll be alright. I'm on my
Very flamenco style. Yeah.
man.
Bravo. Sounds wonderful.
Is that a nylon?
Yeah, for sure. But I have a secret for you.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't play that part.
Just take the credit and run.
I'm assuming you give credit on the album.
Yeah, so just read it there. I don't like the guy, so.
I'm assuming that was a joke, all right.
No, No, it's absolutely true.
Okay, we're gonna leave it just like that because it was perfect.
Yeah, I did all of this. Yeah, no, I didn't.
Someone did the vocals for me.
That's not your vocals, okay.
Someone played the bass for me too.
So this is the other Koda.
I'm on my way.
Once again, not me.
I had Paula Abdul sit in to my
Stunt double.
I suggested this part though right
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Sorry.
And we got a light show too.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Erica's got she's your lighting specialist over here.
Yes.
Waiting for something to blow up, though. Kim, is that okay?
Pyrotechnics?
Yeah.
that's awesome. We got insurance, man, whatever.
That was a fun song.
That was. There's so much stuff going on there.
Yeah, it's like, the album is so diverse. I mean, there's just so many different things that we draw from so many influences, I mean, we've got some hard rock stuff on there, some, I don't know, just kind of a folky feel to some stuff. There's some pop rock on there. It's really odd. But
It's like Neapolitan ice cream,
Right?
You've got all the flavors in there.
we pretty much have dissociative identity disorder.
Could be a sickness, I don't know.
That's my thing.
She's like, don't be taking my thing, right?
If you want to slide, if you want to bring that microphone back while you relax, you can.
Okay.
Once
There you
again,
go.
she faked out our listeners too because she has like this like small little voice when she's way back here.
Yeah.
And then we played that song and everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And like, the ring
Very
of their
rock
ears are still
vocals.
ringing.
Yeah.
Bravo. So Renee, you started out in L.A., but you moved to San Diego. That seems kind of backwards for like an
Yeah.
aspiring musician.
Well, it was, marriage and divorce and that.
Oh, that right? Yes,
That'll do it for
Yeah.
that's
you.
a fun one,
Okay.
isn't
I
it?
was mom, and I'm a mom. My daughter's 15, and her father moved down here, and I was just trying to raise her. She was she was 4, so and I kind of needed his help, so I moved down here, and it's just more of a, I don't know, just
Better.
better for
More better.
It's just
family.
Hashtag LA sucks.
I love LA actually. I love LA.
One of the
It was
few.
just I thought it would
Right.
be more. I don't know, because we were
Homely?
already in Calabasas, which is pretty.
That's pretty
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Suburban and nice. So it's just I don't know. I just kind of needed a change. It was
Well, San Diego is definitely
are
more of a
weird.
laid-back city overall, so
Yeah.
you have more of a
That's true.
relaxed feel being down
hustle.
here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and it's a very healing place, especially Encinitas.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the yoga. And
Oh,
it's yoga,
Encinitas.
so-
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very healing.
I grew up in
and
North
kinda
County
needed
too.
it.
I'm an Oceanside guy. I grew up
Yeah.
there too, and
really
so is
beautiful.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence is from Oceanside as well.
Born and
see?
raised, yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Oceanside.
I wasn't actually born there. I lived in Linda Vista till I was 2. But those years don't count. You don't remember those ones, so I'm Oceanside through and through. So anyways, like that. Did you go to high school? Were you a pirate?
No, actually, Vista. Vista High. Panther.
The enemy is
It's all right.
mother.
If he would have said El Camino, I would have had to
Then
stab him.
we would have had
Hey,
to
I'd
So,
rather be a
because,
panther
they're
than a
rough over there.
pirate.
I guess so.
Anyway, okay. So, Paul,
I'm not a pirate.
no, you're not a pirate, but you were in the military. What branch of the
No, I
military?
was not. My dad
Oh, your
was
dad
for
was, okay.
24 years.
Wow.
So we lived everywhere, and we kind of landed in Southern California when I was like in middle school.
It's a good spot to land.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And
Where else did you land?
I lived in South Carolina, North Carolina, Washington D.C., Hollywood a few times because when he went to Vietnam.
Wait, which Hollywood? There's like
North
8.
Hollywood.
Okay.
North Hollywood. Yeah,
One
right.
in Florida.
Yeah, when he went to Vietnam twice, we migrated there because my grandparents lived there for support, but they weren't very supportive at all.
Did you ever end up
False
living
sense of-
overseas anywhere?
No, he never took us, and I think
No, don't go there. Just think of the expense. It's
no,
all
I
about
think
the
my
money.
mother didn't want to go overseas,
Yeah.
so that's why. I mean, we had a chance to live in Japan once, and it was like no, he was gonna he did his tour there, and then he came back home. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we never, just lived everywhere, but, wound up here my formative years pretty much and have been in Southern California ever since. So
No reason to leave when you're here.
no, not at all.
Nope. And you were in a bunch of metal cover bands and stuff growing
Yeah,
up?
I was a metal singer, man.
Yes,
Back
nice.
in the 80s, yeah.
What did you kind of like style yourselves after?
Well, we had I used to sing like Priest, breaking the law.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Priest. and
Another
some-
San Diego native
some
right there.
Van,
Yeah.
a little Van Halen, Ain't Talking About Love, and Rush, Spirit of the Radio. So all over the place, but it's the first time I really fell in love with music. But it was a cover band situation, and I wanted to write music. I always wanted to be creative because I was doing a lot of LSD, man. and and I always wanted to be a creative person, and so I bought my first guitar when I was like 16. It was like $100 at Guitar Center. And
Nice. What was it? What was the first
It
one?
was
you
a
got?
Martin 12 string, which I had no idea how
Wow.
to fucking tune that.
Oh,
You
but
went
it
to
sounds
12.
like magic.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
You can
nice.
summon elves
It was really
with a
cool.
single
It was
stroke,
cool.
you
It
know.
was used and it was beat up, but you know what? I taught
matter.
myself how to play.
But it was a Martin.
So check
Yeah.
this out. I went to Walden Books. If anybody's like old enough
Yeah,
to know Walden
yeah.
Books,
Yeah.
they had these bookstores in the mall, right?
What's a bookstore?
And
Yeah,
I
I know.
couldn't.
What's a book? Right?
What's that?
What's a book?
Is it on
Right?
Amazon?
What's a book? Right?
Can you
That's
get that
it.
on your Kindle?
Right, so check it out.
Can you Google that or what?
B-O.
So check this out.
Hashtag bookstore.
So I spent my last $100 on this guitar, and I went to Walden Books, and I saw how to play guitar, and I pocketed the thing and walked out.
Did not.
Bought the guitar and stole
But you
the
know
book.
what? I learned how to play like Mary Had a Little Lamb, and the rest is history.
That made the
Thank you,
book worth
Walden.
it. Yeah.
Right, right.
Do you do any singing in this project?
Just backing vocals, but my voice is kind of gone over the years. I
you
mean, I
have
can
a-
sing. But
You have a song on the CD actually that you sing.
yeah, I do, but I don't like to really to advertise that.
Okay.
It's a really personal
You
song. I mean,
have
it's
it
a
on the
personal
CD,
song. It's a personal
so-
song, and it's the last song on the album. It's a personal song, and it's about my grandmother, who passed away right when we were done with the CD. So I kind of got inspired and wrote a song, and Renee was kind enough to do the backing vocals for it and made me sound great. So
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Grandma.
shout out to Grandma.
Yeah,
Still
thank
looking at you,
you.
Grandma. Yeah. So I mean, just inspired and just learned how to play music and just kind of went from there.
And here you are.
Started writing stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
As Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the
You know
story.
the rest of the story.
That's right. Let's go over to Ron here.
Yeah, Ron.
Ron, you started
that?
out, you wanted to play
other guy
the
that beats-
upright bass back in elementary school, huh?
Upright bass in elementary, yes.
Wow.
But
And-
I was a little guy, so so the music instructor said, "No, here's a violin for you."
Oh, hell no.
So I ended up playing violin for about a year, and then
Cool.
got a guitar after that. So
What made you slide to the bass?
actually, my brother-in-law told me that if I wanted to join a band,
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
pick up the bass
need
It's all that's
because
left, dude.
Why
can't
is
swing a dead
Absolutely.
cat without hitting a guitar player.
How many
so-
times I've heard that from a bassist? Their first line is, "Well, my buddy said if I wanted to be in his, you know."
Oh, it wasn't his band. It wasn't his band. He was a bass player too, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
It's something that every band needs, though.
They do.
It's a duty. It's a job that we do. Because I actually went back to being a bass player.
Thank you, Tyler.
I started out as one, and of course, same thing. We had a bass player come in. We needed a guitar player, another one, because we were a metal band also. And I went there and just kind of never looked back. Joined a punk band.
Well, I just got to say, some of the best bands in the world have a lead bass player.
yes.
Yeah.
Just
very
saying.
true.
He's
hard
got
to
a
say.
Rush
wait, hold
tattoo.
on.
He has a Rush tattoo
Don't
on
get
his
any
shoulder,
fucking
by the way.
ideas, Ron. All right.
Yeah.
They are hard to find.
But
Well, I
my
don't
point
like
is-
to pedal on the
shackles.
root note if you haven't noticed. But
No, I haven't noticed.
well, I'll start doing that then.
Oh,
No,
you
we
guys are too
think-
fun. This is awesome.
Ron's a fine freaking bass player, man.
Great bass player.
You got your
especially
first,
when we write stuff.
You got your first bass in a pawn shop. Just kind
Yeah.
of picked it up last minute. What was your first?
Well, yeah. So back to the brother-in-law story. He's like, I was living in Lake Tahoe at the time, and there was one music store in town. So he's like, hey, let's go to Reno and we'll check out some pawn shops, because he was always looking for a deal. Still is to this day, actually. But,
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
yeah.
Save a few
I'm a sucker
bucks.
for
Yeah,
value.
exactly.
I know.
So I went to a pawn shop. We found this bass. It was Ibanez P-bass copy. That was because Ibanez, I don't know if you guys are aware, used to make just copies of basses, Les Pauls and Strats and P basses. And actually, so I bought that bass. It was a great bass. Of course, I didn't know any better at the time because I'm just starting. But yeah, I ended up selling that, unfortunately. I wish I would have kept it now. But anyways, I'm still drawn to P-bass sound. And
Is that an Ibanez too?
no, this is
Squire.
my beater bass. This is a Squire 5-string P
Oh,
bass.
you brought the beater bass, huh? We're not good enough for you.
know,
huh?
actually-
We are the Dusty
couldn't bring a
Futon, Tyler.
Rickenbacker.
I did bring the shitty acoustic too. Just so
I
you know.
don't blame you. I would have done the same thing.
There's a
Well-
theme. There's a theme here.
I've grown accustomed to this bass, actually, and it plays as good as my American Fenders, and I have Music Man basses too, and it plays and sounds just as good as those. So
And white guitars are just beautiful.
yeah,
They are.
Agreed.
Sucker for one. I used to only have black. That's all I had as a metal guitar player. And then one day I picked up a white one, and it popped on all my black clothes, and I was just like, "Well, hello there." So
That's right. That's right.
Kind of works out like that, huh?
yeah, it's all me. Okay, so now let's come back to Lawrence again. So you grew up in Oceanside.
Yeah.
How did you start being a drummer?
Yeah,
They're all laughing.
I know.
This is going to be a fun
Did
story.
you lose a bet?
They
Like,
always
Like, well, we needed a drummer.
Exactly
and-
right. That's what I'm thinking.
I think I had an interest in music. Like growing up, my mom and dad would always play like the classics, rock, different kind of CDs in the car. And one of our neighbors, way back in the day in Jeffrey's Ranch, shout out to Jeffrey's Ranch.
Shout out.
We had a neighbor 2 doors down, Chris Garcia, and he was in a heavy metal band. And he had his room all soundproofed out, and you could always hear it. We were 2 doors down.
Not very soundproof.
Well, yeah. He had some. He had
thought,
some.
he
That's
thought.
a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, exactly.
He made an effort. Okay, he made an effort.
And I could always hear. I'm like, man, that sounds pretty badass. Like you could always, the majority you could hear was the drums because the vibrations and the
Everything,
sounds.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know him because I was like 10 and he was 17, 18. So I was a little intimidated. Like, oh, this is like the cool kid on the block.
For sure.
And I think I just went over one day, and my mom and his parents probably talked a little bit. But I just went over and like knocked on the door, and I was like, hey dude, would you want to like teach me how to play the drums or something? And that was kind of how it all started. Like
He's like,
way back when. Yeah, I was like this tall. He's like twice my size.
Big
He's like,
ass dude. You're
he's like, who's this kid again? This is my neighbor.
little
And
scrub.
he just started giving me lessons like way back when, like
That's so
10,
cool.
12 years ago.
That's awesome.
You pretty much just picked up your love of, old classic rock and progressive rock, and just kind of went from there, huh?
Yes. I remember my dad, he had this, what was it, Black Sabbath Master of Reality CD. We used to
Yeah.
play that thing on like repeat when we used to drive up to Yosemite
Oh my God, how
and
great.
yeah, and I think that kind of was one of the starting points of my love for like music and rock, classic rock, metal, and whatnot. And I took lessons from Chris for a little while. He was in the more metal, but he taught me the rudiments and just like the basic sticking techniques and stuff. And I didn't take lessons from him for too long. And my parents bought me a drum set, my first drum set I still have to this day. I haven't bought another one, and I kind of took some lessons off and on here and there, but for the most part, just like self-taught and yeah, good stuff.
Quick fun fact. His room now where he lives is completely looks like an insane fucking asylum. Okay, he thinks he's soundproof in his room too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all
It's all
padded
this.
walls.
It's not really soundproof. It's like insulated, like
Yeah, it's
it's
insulation.
insulated stuff. Yeah, but it's like,
bottom
you
line.
walk in there,
like
it's just
skinned
silver.
animals.
It's just you're right, kind of right. It's just a silver insane asylum. Okay,
all silver.
okay,
Like my
with a
brain?
drum set
No
and a
corners.
mattress on the floor.
Hey, I got a
That's
foundation.
soundproof too.
I got a
Yeah.
foundation.
Did you get a box spring, bro?
I did. I finally did. I made the investment.
Putting a mattress in the room is like putting a pillow in your kick drum. It just muddies it up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Good point.
Perfect.
Well, we've got instruments.
We do.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some of them, perhaps. Are you guys prepared to do a little live action?
No, I might have a battery issue here. 9-volt battery.
Classic.
Oh,
you
it's
know.
not a passive thing. It's they're active
Let me
things.
see. Oh, you can hear the distortion. So,
Oh, you got any 9 volts, Kimmy?
I'm sure we do. Hold on.
anybody got a 9-volt? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, we'll get your cajon set up.
Sure, let's do it.
Cajon.
I was like, how are you going to set it up? It's a box. What do you
I've
do?
always liked
You got a microphone. Okay, I
You
get
say,
it.
I always liked your cajon.
It's such a
You're looking at
funky word.
my box.
What the hell?
Every time I hear the city El Cajon, I always think of the Stalins of Sound from like season
look, that
3.
still might work.
And they had that song El Cajon Beatdown.
Sorry about the
all right.
9-volt battery issue.
Let's put on some hold music.
Which one did it?
Get together, man. I carry like a whole bag of batteries. Of course, I didn't bring it.
Bag of dicks. No, I'm kidding.
Bag
Which one's
batteries in them.
see which one's positive, which one's negative.
Oh, interesting.
All right. I'll just put it in there, see what happens. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'm surprised. That's amazing. I've never like had a cajon mic'd up with headphones on,
Yeah.
and I'm amazed at how much it actually sounds like a cajon. You know?
Yeah, it's really got a good sound.
Yeah, I think.
What songs do we give you? We gave you Back to Life because we want to do one that's not. We didn't give you, so.
The other one you gave us is called Track 3.
Why not?
And then Can You
I
Ride?
love that movie. That was Nimoy's best.
Well, let me refer to the CD.
And one of the other one's called Can You Ride Mix 3.
Yeah, Can You Ride Mix 3 is like the new song.
Okay.
So Ready for the World is what we gave you. So we will do Strange Affliction, perhaps? What do you think? Strange Affliction? So this song, just we'll do a little intro. It's one of the only songs on the album that I wrote in its entirety. Renee usually writes the lyrics and melody, and the rest of us write the music. But this one happened
Before you knew me.
right before I knew you, actually. We had that band called Strange Affliction, but I thought it was kind of a cool word, or several cool words. So, and I was mad at my wife. And I went upstairs and I was beating on my guitar, and this song came out, and it's not necessarily being mad at my wife, but it's about being, the duplicity of the human spirit, and how, sometimes, everything's not, you're not everything you're perceived to be. So, you ready?
This is very good.
Is that loud enough?
Cry a little, laugh a lot. Love my brother, maybe not. Talk to God, but he don't care. Saints and sinners everywhere. Says he loves me, and then he don't. Maybe I'll tell him. Guess I won't. No, analyzing everything gets a bit mundane. With every ounce of sugar, honey, we all need a little pain. I've got a bad condition. I'm not always who I claim to be. You've always had your suspicion. Why don't you just pack your shit and leave?
Yeah.
Strange afflictions come over me.
Light show. I love it.
Never disappoint, Erica.
Well, I've been affliction spirit. Still a whore. We all want something for nothing, but we gotta pay the price. I want everything now, baby. Wouldn't that be nice? I've got a bad condition. I've got a bad condition. Oh no, I'm not always
who I claim to be.
who I claim to be. Oh no, and you've always had
your suspicion.
your suspicions. Why don't you just pack your shit and leave? Oh no, I've got a bad
condition.
I've got a bad condition.
I'm not always who I claim to be.
Who I claim to be. Oh no,
You've always had your suspicion.
Why don't you just pack your shit and leave? Oh, strange afflictions come over me.
Drummer.
Yeah!
That was awesome.
I love
you,
that
man.
song. Every bit of that.
It's a badass
If this were
song,
Mortal
man. Thank
Kombat,
you.
that's where they would have gone flawless victory. That was epic. Every one of you guys was
Yeah.
totally on point there.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, thank you,
It's
man.
just a box. How the hell did you do that? That's
Well,
magic.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Magic box.
like every other person says on this podcast, we have the best drummer in San Diego County.
You can't be talking about Big John. He's not a drummer. He keeps telling me he is, but he's not.
Yeah, me too.
And I was listening to one of the other podcasts. It's like, well, you know, we have the best drummers in here. No, we do. So, we got the best singer in San Diego County too. Though. Say that.
Yeah, you certainly got, my vote
great
in my
voice.
hat. So well done.
Thank you,
man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Representing
thank you.
Oceanside fully. Thank you.
Oside, and he's not a pirate.
I won't hold that against him. It's okay. I lived in Vista for a little bit, so I don't hate it too much. It's not too bad. But wow, holy shit, you guys!
Thank you, guys.
That was awesome. That song had some attitude.
I would
to it.
did.
Yeah, you must have been pissed, Paul.
I was, man.
I'm glad you
was.
took it out on the guitar, though.
Same.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Fuck, I'm going upstairs. Because you know what? When you're married to an Argentine woman,
Ooh.
there's just no
Erica?
winning, man.
It's so funny because when I heard the lyrics, I was like, wait a second, is this about his ex-wife? Because Erica
Soon to be
so,
ex-wife. No,
they're so in love. You know,
Yeah.
it's adorable. And I'm
My
just-
future former wife.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the more you suffer, the more it shows you care, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nicely.
I've heard that in a song before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that
Someone else
down.
wrote that. Anyway. So we talked a little bit about kind of like you guys individually. How did you all meet up as a band? Because literally, it was like pockets of everywhere, and different age groups.
So I'll start. I mean, we had this. Renee and I came from this cover band, Strange Affliction, which incidentally that song is titled. But we came from this cover band, Strange Affliction. I was tired of doing covers. She was tired of doing covers. Every time we tried to bring an original to the band, it was like, no, let's learn Billie Jean. So,
And then we only got the one. We only got one.
Right, we only got that one song. We actually another
Take It
song
All,
too,
that's
Take
it.
It All, and that was it. We always tried to push the band in that direction, and we had a drummer at the time that wanted to be a lead singer at some, I guess, or that kind of guy. He had the LSD, and lead singer disease, but he was behind the drum kit. It was really bad. It was to the point where, like, hey, the club owner says you're playing too loud, and he's like, I don't care, man. It's the drums. It's rock and roll. It's like, well, we're getting paid, dude.
Yeah.
But so this guy, but he was cool, love him to death. Still to this day, he's a great guy. But it just didn't work out. And then he left for a work thing, and we needed to do a Halloween party, a private Halloween party in Temecula for some very close friends of mine. And we had Lawrence, who, incidentally, another secret, is my stepson. And Lawrence, his secret's out. So Lawrence, we had Lawrence fill in, and he was phenomenal. Everybody kept going, man, he's much better than the other guy. So
Now you have to stay.
Right?
And also at this point, we had another lead. We had a lead guitar player that we had picked up along the way, and we all met in a coffee shop and said, you know what? we're just over this. You know, we want to
Yeah.
do our original music, right, Renee?
Mm-hmm.
And we met at a coffee shop and said, let's just do it. We didn't shit can the other band, but we were just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just do this on the side. Lawrence, you're the drummer. We'll find a bass player. And it took us a little while, some auditions, but we found Ron, and Ron's like the perfect complement to us personally as a friend, and also even more so with the music as well. Am I correct, Ron, or am I lying?
That would be correct.
Survey says.
Right?
So you guys already had a previous relationship with Ron before this? or was
No,
it
actually,
through-
he's a Craigslist dude.
Found me on
Really?
Craigslist.
Right, he's a
They found me
Craigslist
on
dude.
Craigslist with like long time. You know, I
Yeah?
never did rock music before. I thought, I should try this. You know, all the men songs, I can kind of make them my own because they're not expecting a female to sing it. So
Make them better.
I
Right.
can just do whatever I want instead of try to copy because all the female songs, it's like it just, and there's not a lot. Especially rock music, they're just like, what is there? This hard.
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett.
Ronnie Lee.
Just,
Yeah, Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie's local.
For rock
Ronnie's a
music, it's
local
very-
girl.
We've had her on the podcast.
Have you? I haven't got to that one yet. You guys got a lot of those freaking podcasts. I'm
You
trying
know,
to get through.
We've had
Just
we've-
limited.
we're trying to
me
get
about
through
it.
all of San Diego artists, one artist at a
Yeah.
time.
Awesome, bro.
And the men are just like they're screaming, they're doing all kinds of stuff. It's like I can do so much with this, and so I never did classic rock, and I never did Led Zeppelin, and never. I mean, now I do Led Zeppelin all the time because it's just perfect. But it's.
I mean, we're not
it's
a cover
really,
band,
I've
but
really
we
grown
do
for
some
that.
covers every now and then, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
really helped
Sometimes
my
you can't
originals.
help but play.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely
have
have
to.
that power behind you.
Yeah.
You can
Right,
do
you know,
Robert
you got a
Plant.
2-hour
Yeah,
gig, and it's like,
It's fun. It's fun, but it's really helped me with my ability to do melodies because it just stretched it out, especially with different kinds of like he'll come up with a guitar line. I'm like, oh, okay, and it's so easy with him because there's so many pockets in there, and I can just do whatever I want instead of it just being all really obscure and like there's only some melodies go with it. It drives me crazy. It's like it has to be 90s sounding or it has to be.
He makes it very flexible. For you.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's soulful.
that's pretty much the
pocket stuff.
songwriting
It's
process. Here, Renee, listen to
Yeah.
this. Does it sound any good? Next thing you know, she's got a melody, and then Ron came up with our last thing that we haven't even recorded yet. Our last song, and our most current song anyway that hasn't been in the studio yet. But you know, so it's just a really fluid thing with us, you know, and that's what the coolest part about it is. It's like, hey, what do you think of this? And right now she lives in L.A. She went back to L.A. So, but she's coming back.
I just
She went
did a
back to
project.
LA, so there's this remote component to the whole thing too. You know, it's like here, just record it
Kind
on
of slows you
iPhone.
down because you have to move back and forth with each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Sorry,
Renee.
I've been
It's just
no, you know,
I'm
to be
making
honest,
some great connections for all of us, and it will all be worth it.
Do we want to do another song?
well,
Well, let's-
they want to.
let's debut this. Okay, I got a little backstory on this. We did previously record this for a CD that Renee and I got hired to do for this woman. She wanted to do this love song CD, like a mixtape, and we did it for her, and she gave us a great amount of money for it. But we loved this song so much that we decided to re-record it with the band. And in addition to that, we actually enlisted the help of a relatively famous artist to do the keyboards and strings on it. From Rival Sons, Todd Ogren.
Oh my God, I love Rival
Okay,
Sons.
so he did. When you listen to this,
Fangirl.
we do too.
Totally.
So when you listen to this, the
with
keyboards
ya.
and the string arrangements are all him.
Shout out
And-
to Todd.
Yeah, shout out to Todd. He told me not to tell anybody, but you know,
Well, it's just that
Fuck it.
they're from
he's famous. I'm not.
right.
Got to ride some coattails if you can.
Right. I
Those are
won't
some
put it.
good
I won't
ones.
put that on the CD when we record it, but you guys know it here. So
Thank
go ahead.
you.
So then let's get right to it, shall
All right.
we?
Can
What's
You
this
Ride?
next one going to be called? Catch
Can
a
you
Ride?
ride? Can you ride?
Can You Ride?
It's a love song.
It's a love song, and this is off of the album
Not
Not
yet
Yet.
to be
Yet.
released. It's on our next EP, which we haven't even named.
It's a beautiful.
coming up.
It's coming out soon, so it's another Dusty debutant.
Dusty debut.
Who's on the piano?
Did you not hear what we just said?
And I missed the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler.
Give it once, give it twice. Can we go longer? Can I keep all my strength as we grow older? Can you love me the most, more than your hunger? Can you hear my voice over your thunder? your patience and your anger. Do you have all there is in my imagination? I'm just craving my old place and my destination. Can you ride on my white horses? Can you right all these wrong choices? Can you dance with all my wild
This is a very different sound. It's very much of a
Melody.
departure.
I'm telling you, we have like multi-personality.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It keeps it interesting.
Who wrote this song?
Renee and I did.
Renee?
Together. It's a co-writing thing.
Yeah, well, we co-write everything pretty much except a couple of songs.
Oh, okay. What's this one about?
Oh, it's about finding somebody who can really love you.
Oh wait, shout out to Corey Wilkins. He engineered this
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Oh, yeah, he's one of our
Yeah.
I know he is. I know he is. I know he is.
Oh, our Corey?
Our Corey, yeah.
Yeah, that's our Corey.
He engineered this.
Poor
great
blind
job.
as a bat. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, but
Yeah.
Blinder than a bat.
works
but
quicker than anybody else in the studio, man.
He's amazing. I can't believe he can do that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, his ears are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wedding song, man. We just need to pick this up on a
Yep.
on a TV or movie. Huh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Sing licensing, baby.
Have Manuela sing it.
Hollywood.
You got to be
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Can you ride?
I gotta say one thing, Renee. You have so much soul in your voice. It's
Yeah.
a pleasure to hear.
You
Thank
came
you.
from doing a lot of like a 70s soul music, didn't you? Before
Yeah, yeah. It's I was I've always just loved dance music and blues, and I started doing a lot of jazz, and I learned how to sing by going out and doing a lot of jazz. And I just always had a voice like that. I don't know where I got it. My parents can't sing at all, and I was just always like all the time, and just doing Aretha Franklin and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
I could hear that.
I was doing all of that, and I just, but I wanted to do alternative music because I wanted to write about deep things, and I was doing all that, listening to a lot of, what Tori Amos and the Pixies, and I just wanted to write about profound things that were meaningful,
Important
and I
stuff.
was into poetry, and
Yeah.
very dramatic, very, very dramatic. And
If you notice, a lot of our songs are about empowerment and mostly female empowerment, which
yeah, so less dark and a little more
I did notice
positive
that.
now, because it's dark is too easy to do.
Yeah, right.
It's
It's
that's true.
easy to be dark.
Uh-huh.
Let's inspire.
Yes, which
I like that. Good
I do
positive
too.
message to be sending out there. So
For sure.
On that note, we're gonna close this out. But I first want to let our listeners know that you guys are going to be out on the town coming soon. In I guess May 16th, you guys are going to be at the Rainbow Bar in Hollywood. Is that right?
correct.
Oh, I'll go up there for that. I love that place.
Heck yeah! Wasn't that where Lemmy used to go all the time?
Yes, there's a
Yep.
statue.
Yes.
More important, hey,
I have a
we're-
picture of me
Wait,
with
wait. More
climbing a
importantly,
statue, trying to climb it.
I got.
It's hilarious.
Did they give him a diamond mole? I hope they did. That would have been
know.
awesome.
check this
look.
out.
I have to
More
look at that.
importantly, Ron Jeremy hangs out there.
He does
All the
That's
time.
true.
Almost as cool as Lemmy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, do you just stay over
So-
there?
exactly. Just make sure your booth is 3 over.
More locally, you guys are coming back in June to the 2019 San Diego County Fair. Yes?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, June 5th at 6 p.m. at the Coors Light stage.
I was about to say you got to get a big stage for you guys, right?
Yeah,
it's a good
I
one.
prefer the Plaza stage, but this Coors Light stage is awesome.
It's
though.
nice.
We played there
dance.
once, but it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's a good
Frank.
place.
It's around.
It's a captive
do a
audience
little
because everybody
dancing.
goes to eat and they like sit there and they have to watch
Yeah.
you while they eat.
They're
so
forced
it's
to
cool.
watch.
And Frank
Is that
Torres
worse or
runs
better?
sound
Do you
there.
guys like
I like
that?
it better. I just like people in front of me.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just
Yeah.
nothing worse than playing the crickets. You know, it's
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, cricket amphitheater sucks.
that's why they named it Sleep
whatever
Train.
Yeah, it's not even
Mattress firm.
mattress firm.
Sleep train and cricket. It's so.
Always Coors.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Coda, for
Hey,
coming
thanks
out
for having us.
here.
Thank you.
Thanks, thanks
so
for what
much.
you
Thank you very
guys
much.
do to local music, man.
Yeah.
You guys, and we're also part of ARC, which is another great avenue for us local artists. Go see local. Go support local.
Boom.
Let's
Where-
do it, man.
Where can we
Thank
find
you.
you?
Said it. Now
Social
I don't
media,
have
we
to.
don't
Oh,
have
social
to.
media. Okay,
Yes.
well, you got.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Coda
I'll
Music.
do all that. Okay, so it's
please.
kodasounds.com on the web.
Okay.
Everything on social media is at Koda Sounds.
Okay.
Okay.
KODA.
KODA, the word sounds right after it. We got a YouTube channel. Subscribe, join. We put shit on there all the time. We are social media whores,
Okay.
particularly to Renee. So,
Robert Kraft will love you then.
the Robert Kraft reference, man. It hasn't even been 24 hours.
Oh, right. Oh, my God. I just heard about that this morning. I was like, oh,
Dude,
boy.
talk about topical, man.
He's in some hot water now.
He's
but
good,
they're used to
that's
that,
getting
and then
edited
when-
out.
Thank you guys for having us. It's awesome. Thanks to
We're
Dusty
happy to have you on the
All guys are
futon, which
awesome.
is actually a
Everybody's talking
couch.
about
So
him.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
guys
Thank
for
To
coming.
Dusty
Lovely
couch.
couch.
Thanks so much.
Big thank you to all 4 members of Koda Sounds for taking a seat on the futon in Rancho Bernardo. Major thank you to Tyler Johnson for hosting this episode. Special thanks to Spicy Kim of Wicked Tone Entertainment for co-hosting and letting us record in her home studio. I'm Big John, engineer, editor, and producer of this production of the Dusty Futon LLC. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to get all the newest episodes. You can find out how on dustyfuton.com. If you love what we are doing and want to support our cause like Nicholas, Rick, and our many other supporters, please consider going to patreon.com/thedustyfuton and pledging to support for as little as $1 a month. Thank you again for listening to this episode of The Dusty Futon.
We are recording, so we're pumped and amped and ready to go.
Button stuck on a beard hair. What the hell?
That's what happens when you have a beard.
My name's Kim. Spicy Kim. Yes.
Hope we got that.
Yo, are one of those beers like, hey, are those beers spoken for over there by any chance?
Oh, I was actually bringing them over here because I couldn't remember who said yes. I would love a beer.
That would be me, always.
Okay.
So
Is that-
you
is
don't know
that-
me. You don't know me.
I
But
hear the voice, but I don't see the mouth moving. There he is.
you don't know me.
Might want to get you to scoot over just a little bit
No
so that
worries,
he
no
can
worries.
see everybody.
Can I see people there, Lawrence, or what? The fuck, man?
I mean, he is the prettiest one out of all of you guys.
Yeah, the youngest for sure. I'm gonna use our CD as a coaster because that's all about it's good for right now. Can you give?
Aw. We'll be the judge of that.